Okay, doing a tech check. All right, I think we're in a good place now. The summer was hard. We had internet issues. It's wired now. It seems much better. We had camera issues. It would overheat and just turn off. I streamed for 3 hours last night. Didn't have that issue. So hopefully it's all fixed. Hopefully. What is it, miss? My cat's just desperate to be stroked while she eats. So she will scream at the top of her lungs until you follow her to the kitchen, where she will just eat, and she will only do it if she gets strokes. What's up, Barbacat? What's up, Ringtail? How's it going, guys? It's Daggerheart night tonight. I'm playing a TTRPG. It's actually been a while. I've taken, due to scheduling conflicts with Halloween and stuff, I've not played for the past 2 weeks. So, you know, hopefully I remember how to get back into that GM seat. I think it is something you kind of lose. Like, it's like riding a bike, but when you get on a bike after, you know, a while, it's a little bit wobbly. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Ooh. What kind of Daggerheart are you going to be playing, Ringtail? You gotta do one of the campaign frames? You made your own campaign frame called Fate. That sounds freaking awesome. Ah, you just get settled in here. What's the deal with Fate? I love the campaign frames. I think they're really, really cool. I think sometimes I think about making one and I'm like, yeah, but not all campaigns have to be that different from each other. You don't need an entire frame, you know? It's really cool to have. I like the extra mechanics. But sometimes you just want to play in a vanilla fantasy world. I guess that's the campaign frame, vanilla fantasy. Alright, it's going to be a long stream today. It's also, honestly, I'm not expecting like any viewership really that much. There's so much going on right now, which is like the title of this stream on YouTube is specifically because of that. I really do believe that not just D&D but TTRPGs in general right now are exploding, or not exploding, maybe that is the wrong term, expanding back into like their largest form. I'm not saying it's going to reach new heights, but there's definitely a lull there for a little bit. Whether it was a mix of just, I think people got a bit fatigued with all the negative news, but also just for a few months. It probably happens every year with September, with people going back to school. On YouTube especially, we see a huge drop-off in views. And YouTube also did something to mess up the algorithm a few months ago as well, leading to a drop-off in views as well. So it just didn't, like, as a creator, making YouTube videos, it felt like no one cared about TTRPGs at all. Like, hold on, let me show you. What happened on my YouTube channel. It's a world where there are strange peculiarities scattered throughout that people don't understand, like gargantuan trees, which seem to pollute lakes in the woods, unusual underdark caverns, and strange creatures. Very cool. There are cults and specific traditions. That's very cool, man. Bond of the War and Cities Towns. Okay, I like it. I like it. All right, so this is my channel. My other channel, I should say. And literally, like, I messed up stuff a lot by doing a lot of Daggerheart on this channel, and you know, the mix of everything, views being down for multiple reasons, it wasn't going well. Then I started making D&D content again, and purely went D&D at this point. Thank you for the follow, Yoverkshini. You did that on purpose. Thank you, Sheeny, for the follow. Yeah, but literally, like, so I went back, and 24k for this D&D video. I was like, okay, that's kind of standard where I am now. And then 16k, kind of standard. Then 61k, 51k, which even before I started doing Daggerheart stuff, I wasn't often getting those kind of views, right? I was getting like 10k and 19k and 34k for this. I went to Japan to find weird D&D gear stuff. And I'd have outliers, but this was a pattern. I was 61k, 51k, 79k, 83k, 8.1k. We don't look at that. That's another. That was a different type of video. And then 177k on my last D&D video is blown up. And this isn't just a me thing. Like, there might be luck involved, but I'm seeing it across the board. I'm seeing people stream where they just talk about Critical Role. Like, they're Critical Role channels, but they'll have like 70, 80 viewers in there, which is wild. If you go look at like the character sheet or like the news-based channels, they're killing it with views right now. It's just like interest is up. Evening, Trinder. Stupid ads, yes. I apologize. I apologize for Twitch ads. But you know, if you got that free Twitch sub, you know, throw it my way. We both win. No ads for you. I get $2 of Jeff Bezos' money. And yeah, there's like no loss. It's just definitely something I've noticed over the past couple months. And there's been news articles talking about D&D selling the least books ever recently. I say news articles, YouTube videos based off BookScan, which looks at like barely anything. It's like only books sold in brick and mortar stores, not including game stores, independent game stores. We're talking stuff like Indigo here in Canada, or like Target or Walmart. You know, places that I don't usually think, oh, they're going to sell a lot of D&D stuff. It's only looking at those in the US. And I just think the modern world is like, people are buying digital, people are buying local game store copies, and people are buying it directly from the site. Like, all the marketing I've seen for D&D books take you to D&D Beyond or Wizards of the Coast's like actual site. So I'm not saying it's doing good or bad marketing wise. I'm saying we don't know, and I would like take all the videos that are saying it's doing really bad with a pinch of salt, because certainly whether 2024 is doing well or not as like a sales marketing campaign, I can tell you online right now on YouTube with actual plays and with YouTube videos, and just like people talking on Reddit and that movement, I'm seeing like a huge buff there. There is definitely a lot of interest in it, which is good, which is very good for TTRPGs in general. It's very good for D&D. It's very good for Daggerheart. I'm just saying, normally when that happens, like normally when Critical Role drops a series, a new campaign, sales just go up for D&D anyway, which is why I don't truly believe the news that it's suffering right now. I noticed a lot takes you to D&D Beyond, and I kind of don't care for it personally. I prefer paper and pencil card sheets, to be honest. I used to like D&D Beyond, but after playing Daggerheart with pen and paper, I kind of like it. I kind of like it as well. It's nice to have the physical stuff there. The only problem with playing pen and paper and not digital for me is that I can't kind of sneak in and see what my players' characters look like at any point. Because sometimes I just want to know, do I give them another health potion? Or do they all have 5 health potions each? You know? Or do I give them more money? Or are they all rich? How rich are they? How should that affect the economy? So I kind of like having access to their character sheets like that. And you don't get that with pen and paper, really. You like not knowing. There's a really good argument for not knowing. There's a really good argument for... Oh, let me turn chat on, by the way, so people can see YouTube and Twitch chatting. There is a really good argument for being like, you shouldn't let what the characters have change what you do as a GM. Because, like, if they're rich, let them be rich. Don't make things more expensive because they're rich. That's fair. You could argue that. But I like being able... I like kind of like a variable difficulty and challenge in the world where I can, like, constantly be tweaking things to give the players the best experience in the moment. That sounds so pretentious. I apologize. But when I did play a rogue and pickpocketed my friend, I would just peer over his shoulder. That's true. That is true. And I can always just ask. I can just... it's kind of what I do. I'm like, hey, how many health potions do you all have? Because a lot of them don't remember. They don't realize they have something. And they look and like, oh, I do have a health potion. But the reason I really brought this title for YouTube, the D&D's Blowing Up title, is because I saw this video pop up on my feed. I've not watched it yet. It is from Character Sheet. 2,000 views in 2 hours, which is pretty good. And it's this particular bit, Critical Role campaign for viewership record. Now, I have no idea what it means. I think it's going to say, like, probably last night's Twitch viewership was higher than it's been all campaign. Which, on one side, is kind of in a vacuum, because you're just comparing it to this campaign. But on the other side, is really impressive if it beat the first viewership, right? It means that Critical Role is, like, slowly bringing more and more people in as time goes on. You recently switched to Savage Worlds. Pen and paper is so much easier. As a GM, I think it's also very cool to think, I'll do this to make it tough for them. Then they do something and leave me like, I forgot you had that. Oh, it could do that. I do agree with that. Like, they'll pull out an item that they'll use, and you'll be like, and it'll blow apart your encounter. And it's like, oh, fair enough. Nice work. Yeah. I think it's just a playstyle. I like to know, but I like to have the mentality of shoot your monks, you know? Like, I know you have this item, so I'm not going to, like, try and... I'm going to still allow you to use it. I just don't want you to have 300 health potions. I can't let them be rich. They already tried to buy a whole village. So I make invention and creating new things very expensive. Yeah. Yeah. Also, when I play as a player, I like to spend the money. I really like to spend the money. So make things more expensive. I have had players who just want to make as much money as possible and never want to buy anything. That's like their game, to see how rich they can really get. And that's fair enough. I personally don't see the enjoyment in that, because the money is not... You can't retire in real life off this money. They just want to see... They want to see number go up. But I certainly prefer to play where, like, if I have, you know, this much money, I want to spend that much money. Spend as you earn it type of vibes. Hoarding wealth players had to become dragons. Alright. Let's just see what they're saying here in this video. I'm not expecting a lot from it, since it's a 6-minute video and it looks like it's 1/3 of what they want to talk about. But D&D's Starfinder, if they're talking about the new D&D game Exodus, I do also want to hear about that, because I wanted to talk about that today too.
Critical Role pulls off an amazing bait and switch while bringing in record viewership.
Potential spoilers. I'm going to say that right now, potential spoilers for Critical Role stuff.
D&D has stealth launched its answer to Starfinder.
Okay.
And RPG giant Square Enix is slashing jobs in favor of AI. Welcome to Fantasy News Friday on the Character Sheet, your home for the week's biggest fantasy and TTRPG news. Before we talk Critical Role twists and trauma and secret D&D product launches, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? Critical Role began its first episode after the overtures with an incredible bait and switch, as after a brief segment with...
Yes, once again, spoilers. I watched the first half of this episode. I think I know what they're talking about.
The soldier table,
I didn't like
came
it.
back from the incredible new announcement segment to find the other two groups at the table instead. That's right, this Soldiers episode spent most of the first half before break dealing with the fallout of Octus returning to semi-life with the Schemers and the Seekers table. And it does look like some of our guesses...
No, I don't want... What I want to know is the record-breaking stuff.
...fully alive, as Brennan Payton's unable to savor...
Wait, what?
Problem with this, as the viewership has become truly unprecedented in time to tie up the overture in 4 episodes and had to bring back the others to get the narrative fully on track. And the fans didn't seem to have any problem with this, as the viewership has become truly unprecedented in the post-pandemic era. YouTube viewership remains steady at around 40,000 viewers for hours, which...
No, so you're just telling me Campaign 4 is beating, like, Campaign 3? Is that what you're saying?
Outside of the actual finale of Campaign 3, we just haven't seen for years at this point. Critical Role is truly having a huge resurgence in viewership with this new format, and if we keep getting more episodes like this one, it's not hard to see why.
That felt good.
Okay, that's really lame. That is really lame. That is not, like, breaking the record I was hoping to hear about, that I thought was promised. However, it does, like, back up what I was saying, which is, right now, Critical Role and D&D and TTRPGs in general are seeing that huge resurgence, which I love. Ooh. Let me just go through this and see what we want to talk about. The character sheet making big claims with basically nothing. Who would have thunk? Yeah, I've made in the past my like opinions clear on this kind of thing. We can only talk about it from our point of view. Like, I don't think anyone's doing anything wrong most of the time. My biggest issue is when misinformation is spread and when people kind of make out something is the case when it's not because it gets them more views. That's what I have a problem with. Like, I almost have... My definition of clickbait is different from other people's definition of clickbait. Like, to me, clickbait, like, sensationalism is not clickbait. So if I make a video that says, like, this is the craziest thing Wizards of the Coast have done, right? Many people would count that as clickbait. And like, it's a subjective thing, so go for it. That can be clickbait for you. I don't actually count that as clickbait. Clickbait for me isn't about exaggerating something or sensationalizing something to get you in the door. We all understand that's how YouTube works, right? We all understand that if no one clicks on a video, no one watches it, and the game is that you want people to click and watch it, but you also want to back up the click with a good video afterwards. And, you know, some people fail at that. Some people don't make good videos, and that can be annoying, and hopefully they'll learn from that and continue to make good videos. For me, clickbait is when you are baited into a click, and then they don't actually give you what was promised in the video. For example, if I said, this is the craziest thing WotC have ever done, or this is the craziest thing D&D has ever done, and then I go and talk about Daggerheart, for example. I don't actually address anything that D&D did. I think that is clickbait. My biggest issue is rage bait, though. Like, people who are like, Wizards of the Coast just did this awful thing again, and it's not, they just did a thing. You know, it's not even an awful thing. That is playing on people's emotions and manipulating people and raging them up. And it does really well on YouTube because it tends to lead to comments and people watching for longer. And my number one pet peeve with those kind of videos is I would hate it less if they told you within the first 30 seconds what the deal was, but they don't. Sometimes you have to wait minutes. I've watched videos where they address the title and the thumbnail 7 minutes into the video after a 1 minute sponsorship that made them $1,000. And I think that is kind of not Like, just as a creator, I look at that and think, I don't like what you're doing at all. Rage bait is what you hate the most, yeah. D&D is a disaster. The numbers are in, and then it's not even half the sales numbers. Yes. I think if someone made a video that said, the numbers are in, how is D&D doing? Or D&D is not doing how you think the numbers are in. And then they address it immediately and are like, oh, by the way, these numbers are not, like, specific. This is kind of an estimated guess. And then this video is just about me discussing what I think. You know, that is something very different from someone spending 10 minutes being like, these numbers mean this, and being a bit more of an authority on it. I've got an issue with authority on YouTube because every YouTuber is like an authority. Because they have to be, because it makes them sound better, the viewers have more confidence in them. So that's why people always start YouTube videos a lot of time with like, you know, hey, I'm blah blah, and I've been blah blah for 10 years or something like that, because they want to get in there straight away and be like, I'm an authority on this. Blah blah, I've worked in this industry for 10 years. I'm blah blah, I did this or did that. And once they have that authority, people are more likely to believe them and listen to them. The reality is, a lot of the time, these people don't have as much authority as you think. I think, is it Pirate Software is a great example of this. They can be exaggerating and they can embellish the truth, or they could be telling the truth, but whatever they did for 10 years as a job, they were like bad at it for 10 years and didn't really learn anything. And then from that point, people just take what they say as gospel. And they have to keep that authority up because they can't lose that authority. And it's something I've really tried not to do in my videos. I try and put myself across as like, hey, I'm just like you. Like, I'm learning this stuff. This is what I've learned. This is what I think. You probably know better than me. So take all this with a pinch of salt. And hopefully you can improve or get better at or enjoy this thing more after this video. But it's not because I'm like telling you what's what. So we know that doesn't work. We know that, like, most YouTube videos that say something like, here is how you do this, if it really works, everyone would just do it. It's really bad in the content creation space because a lot of videos out there are like, here's how to get 100,000 subscribers in a week. And I look at that video, it's got hundreds of thousands of views, and I just know for a fact it's not good. It doesn't work because it would be everywhere. Everyone would have 100,000 views. There'll be articles about it. It would destroy YouTube in general. So yeah, what's going on, Silence? How's it going? We're just ranting a little bit at YouTube in general. Nerdcore. I watched that video. I watched that video that you did. And I agree with it. I do agree with it. It was a good video. Yeah. It's weird how much creators like that will stand on that stuff. And I don't know what your reception was like on that video. Did you have anyone like have a go at you? Because I've done like doing these live streams and chatting and then trying to turn them into videos on this channel. I've had some issues with just people flat out disagreeing with me. And I'm just like, we're having a conversation. I know it doesn't feel like that, and I know it's me saying stuff, but in the comments, it's like, you just want an argument, which is weird. It's like, we can have a conversation about it. We can have, like, the Hero Forge was the big thing, which they've changed now, actually. Let me get that tweet up. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's very interesting. Actually, I want to get two things up to show you because I think it's very funny. Actually, this is very funny. Where is it? Daggerheart. All right. Okay. So, what's on today's agenda? It's gonna be a short stream. It's gonna be a very short stream. But we're just chatting. We're just chatting. It was a bit passionate, but I did legit just turn on the camera and rip it. Yeah. Yeah. I've tried that as well, Nerdcore. You've got to be careful sometimes because people can take advantage of the passion. You know, if you get a bit like heated a bit. I think the video is fine. But I think if you do get a bit heated or passionate or something, people can like turn that against you in a way, like you're emotional, and sometimes just like when I try and do videos like that, like on the stream I'll do that. I'll stumble over my words and I'll fumble it and stuff. But or I'll get passionate and excited about something. But when I try and make a video about that, I try and stay very calm and collected because I think it just does better in that general stuff. But your video is fine. You had 2 people disagree, and one was like, "You're a D&D 2024 shill." I think I saw that comment. Yeah, you're gonna get that. You are gonna get that. I think you even said in the video that you're not a shill, that you like it as well. The amount of people who don't watch the video as well. It's one of the problems with the sensational, even clickbait thumbnails, is that if I put a thumbnail out that says like, this is a great example. I did one the other day on this channel that was like, Daggerheart is just getting started. Like, there's so much news about Daggerheart, it's going to be great. And that was kind of the title and the thumbnail, and the video I talked about all the news about it. And I got a comment from someone that was just like, you're wrong. Daggerheart's not going to be good. It was just like, it had its moment in the spotlight, but now it's just going to die. And I was like, this video isn't about that. It's just so weird how much people have their favorite sports team. And also how many people don't want things to succeed. That's become very apparent to me whenever I talk about D&D, and hopefully when I say, hopefully D&D can turn it around and start making good books. Surely we all want D&D to make good books that people like, and to not be like jerks and improve their marketing and become a good company. Like, that would be my dream. Like, 5 years time, if D&D was just like making good stuff, and it was like spreading out more and finding more players, and people were enjoying it more, and other TTRPGs were doing better because D&D was doing better. That's the best case scenario in my mind. But a lot of people's best case scenario is that D&D dies. Like it just slowly crumbles away into nothingness. And it gets even worse because some people are like, D&D's evil. D&D is like immoral. And I'm just like, they fired everyone. So the D&D company is a very different company now. But yeah. 1 second. Alright. Yeah, you opened it with that. Yeah, you did. You did. People don't care. I have another YouTuber friend who's much bigger than me, and we complain about this stuff all the time, and he just said, people just come in to your video and just want to confirm their bias. And if they cannot confirm their bias, they'll argue with you. So, 1 second, let me just... I have notifications coming through my hearing aid. I just need to mute it. Alright. Facts on the bias. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's not insane, because I do it. I do it as well. Like, I went into that video at the start of this stream thinking, oh, I was going to hear something about Critical Role's breaking numbers, and I was going to hear something substantial. And then I kind of knew at the back of my head I wasn't going to get it, and I was prepared for that in a weird way. Like, I had this bias, and then I was like, but yeah, I think it's a very human thing to want other people to agree with us. We have it the other way around as creators. We want all our comments to agree with us. It's just when people take it too far and get too passionate about it on either side. And also forget how much, like, profit there is in lying to you. Phil is basically friends with my Mercer, so he just slid him a cheeky DM asking for some time. That's one thing I could have done as well. I could have built, I have interviewed Matt. I've interviewed Brennan now. I've interviewed Matt twice. I could start my videos with that authority of like, oh yeah, I know these guys, but I don't. That's the only times I've interacted with them is that. And I'm hoping that comes across in general in my videos, that I'm trying to fight back against that kind of like fakeness. That it's not the D&D space, it's YouTube in general. I want to be like very transparent with you guys and be on the same level with you, because I am. Oh, hold on. I've got a question for you, and you, of course, don't have to share, no pressure. But how do you manage to get interviews for Critical Role? I want to try, but haven't been able to reach anyone. Yeah, I just emailed their PR person. If you, I don't know if you have the email, but if you just Google or go through like their official channels, you'll find an email there. And I think I got lucky the second time because it was Critical Role 4 coming out, or the third time, I should say. Critical Role 4 coming out, and they were trying to spread it, so they jumped at the chance, and I jumped at the chance. The very first and second time I got interviews with them, the first one was my Is Critical Role Scripted video. I think that was just a good video idea, and I think they appreciated that. So when I emailed them, I said, hey, but actually I didn't expect to get like Matthew Mercer and Marisha Ray for that video. I was like, I emailed their PR firm and said, hey, I want to know the inner workings of Critical Role so I can like make a video about whether it's scripted or not, because I'm seeing all this stuff. I said, here's how the video's kind of gonna go. I'm gonna talk about the idea of what scripted means in D&D. I'm gonna talk about the idea of what happens at Critical Role, like it is a show, but is it being played like it would be as a home game, and all that stuff. And I said, would anybody in production, like I was expecting to get like a runner, you know, someone who just gets the coffee for them, or a like assistant director or something. I was expecting to get someone behind the scenes who, and I kind of wish it was that. I'm very happy that I got Matt and Marisha, but I would love to talk to someone, because I feel like we just don't see that side of things often. Like I wanted to know, like, do you guys meet up in the morning to talk about things? Do you plan your character stuff? Is there like a shooting schedule? Is all this stuff? And I got an email back being like, yeah, we can do that. Matthew Mercer and Marisha Ray will be in the video. And I was like, what? No, what? And my God, was I nervous for that interview. My God, was I nervous. And then the second time was a bit more strategic. I knew Daggerheart was coming out, so I had been making some Daggerheart videos, and I asked them if they wanted to do an interview to talk about Daggerheart, and it just made sense for them. It was like perfect timing. So just go in with like a good idea that benefits them as well as you, and I think it should work out for you. Also, the other thing is, like, they're very aware of us in general. Like, they keep their fingers on the pulse. Like, if Matt, because Matthew Mercer says all the time, like, he watches all our YouTube videos, not mine in particular, but the D&D YouTube space, and the people who talk about Critical Role, he watches them, and you would, so he might be aware of you already, and then as long as you're, you know, not a jerk in your videos, you should be good. What C and Hasbro might be evil, D&D is just a game. A cool game we love, but still, just a game. Yeah, I just don't know why the goal is not to like redeem WotC and Hasbro and hopefully get them in a position where, I guess the idea is people think it's impossible. People think like, oh, it's a major corporation, it's never going to be good. They're always going to be greedy, they're always going to be awful. So therefore, we need to burn it to the ground. But people jump to extremes fast. Still cool, I got those interviews, congrats. So cool, so cool. Like, highlight of my career so far. I've been doing YouTube like 3 years now, coming into my 4th soon, and that will all, there's a few videos that really stand out to me as like moments where I'm like, oh my God. And 100% the D&D Critical Role interviews, some of my favorites. Tried info at Critical Role and tried their press media contacts form, but nothing for 2 weeks now. I think it took me a lot longer actually as well. to be honest, to get a reply. They are also, because I asked them as well to do an interview about Campaign 4. I was trying to get Brennan and Matt, and they were just like, we're too busy. We're too busy right now. And I think that's kind of the case at the moment. You might have to wait for it to die down a bit. They are obviously going wild. They've got Vox. I mean, maybe if you contacted them with an idea for a cool video around the release of Mighty 9, that could be good. But they're like, they have so many fingers in so many pies right now that I just don't think they'll be free for a while. Yes, Critical Role is a show first and foremost, but with all the giggle fest and play jokes, it still comes across like any home game. But haters gotta hate. If you don't like CR, don't watch. Yeah, I've come to a new conclusion about that kind of thing that I didn't talk about in that video. I kind of want to make another video to talk about it. Because I made the video saying Critical Role scripted, right? And I still had people call that clickbait. It's not click. If you think it's clickbait because you had to click on it to find out what I was gonna say, that's just a good thumbnail. Like, people would want me to be like, in the title, Critical Role is not scripted, or Critical Role is scripted. I'm like, you wouldn't click the video then. You just wouldn't click the video. So yeah, is Critical Role video scripted video? I had people commenting being like, no, it's still scripted. Like, why wouldn't you script a multi-million-dollar production? Why would you risk that? Why would you risk it being boring and all that stuff? And I've realized now, after all this time with a bunch of other stuff as well, with Critical Role, the biggest one recently was like, it was Daggerheart made just to get more money out of D&D for Campaign 4. Like, that was the leak that came out from Critical Role, was that they sat down a couple of months ago and were like, or like a year ago, and were like, okay, Campaign 4 is coming out. D&D will only pay us a couple of $1 million to play their game. We need to get more out of them. So let's create a second similar game and threaten to play that for Campaign 4 instead, unless they double the money. And that's so ridiculous for so many reasons. One is they've come out and said they've never taken money from Critical Role, from D&D or WotC for that kind of thing. And two, it's so much effort and such a gamble for no reason. And three, it's just a shady conspiracy thing to try and do, which puts your company in so much danger, right? You wouldn't do that. If you were fine, you wouldn't try and do stuff like that, because if it came out and was found out about, it would like destroy the company's goodwill. I also had some comments of people being like, who cares? Like, it's still a fun game. And I'm like, people care. You want to know, right? If Critical Role are lying to you. You want to know that. And that's kind of where I stand on the is Critical Role scripted thing. When people tell me like, oh, I kind of think Critical Role is scripted, or I kind of think they did make Daggerheart in this way. Like, I think there's a chance, or there's some truth to that. And what it really comes down to is, okay, so you think Critical Role are lying to you. Because they've said otherwise. So it's not about, oh, I think it's scripted, or I think it's this, or I think it's this. It's like, oh, you think Critical Role are lying to you. You think Matthew Mercer gets on there, looks at the screen, and lies flat out to you, which you can believe, but you need to say that. Don't say, oh, I think it's this, I think it's scripted. Just say, I think they are liars. But people don't say that because it puts them into the next stage of conspiracy. It puts them into an insane area of conspiracy that is easily, it's not easily disproved. Okay, Critical Role could be lying to us. They could be. But it puts it in a much more unfeasible zone, because if they're lying about that stuff and that stuff did come out, they would be done as a company, right? Like, most companies would never even try and lie and do something like that, you know? No one's sat there going like, oh, whose line is it anyway is scripted? Because that would be insane, and the show would be taken off air, and it just wouldn't be allowed. Sorry, that was my rant. Laymount, how's it going? What's your opinion on homebrew magic items? Good question. I like them. I really like homebrew magic items. It depends where you're coming from, though. Badforge, thank you for the subscription. 4 months in. Wow, thank you so much, man. Yeah. I prefer like homebrew magic items. If you're talking about you creating them yourself for your players, if you're a DM, or even with your players, then yeah, you get to make a magic item that suits a player character down to the T, and it can become like an extension of their personality. So I'm all for it. As far as going into like D&D Beyond and using someone else's homebrew, be a little bit careful with that because you don't know how balanced stuff is. But yeah, that's just... I think homebrew content is, for the most part, the same as official content in a lot of ways. I created something curious if you'd look at him. For criticism, of course, I'm new at this. Is it Daggerheart or D&D stuff? Homebrew is amazing as long as you know how to balance for your game. Yes. Yeah. When I first started like DMing, I made some weapons for some of my players, and I accidentally made one of them overpowered. Like seriously overpowered. It was like 2 levels above them. It was wrecking everything. And it's because it merged. The weapon was fine, but it merged with another ability that character had, and together it became overpowered. And it kind of taught me a lesson that it's fine. It's fine. Don't be scared of that, because I just said to the player... Well, actually, the player said to me, they were like, is this okay? And I was like, I don't think it is. Let's change it. And then we nerfed it. We nerfed it together. We just kind of retconned, or we came up with some bullshit. Like, it was overpowered a little bit for a few sessions because of some, like, leftover magic or something. You can bullshit anything. And then we got it into a balanced state. Same with underpowered weapons. You can buff them. So don't be afraid of doing that. If you ever run into a situation where, you know, you give a player an overpowered weapon and then you ask to like nerf it to like make it less powerful, and they put their foot down like, no, you gave this to me and I've been using it, I would genuinely, and I don't normally advocate for this, but that is such a red flag in a player for me, that they're not playing the game in good faith and they're not putting other people first, that I would seriously think about having a conversation with them away from the table and be like, you're not playing this the way my table likes to play it. So either, you know, you can change how you see this game and we can nerf that item, or you can go find another table to play with. Oh, it's D&D Beyond stuff? Yeah, you can throw it on Discord and you'll get feedback, but I'm not, in the nicest possible way, I'm not that interested in looking at it, certainly not right now. Oh, the Angel Blade sounds awesome, Jimmy. Phil, haven't seen your streams in a few weeks, so you might have already answered this. How do you think Campaign 4 has started? Watched Vodabet 4 yesterday, and again, bam. Where the hell is the story going? Hold on 1 second. Oh. So, I think there's 2 ways to look at this. There's my kind of marketing way. I think from an overview perspective, Critical Role Campaign 4 is doing phenomenally well. I don't think anyone can argue with that. It's doing really, really well, and I'm really happy for that, because when Critical Role does well, my own YouTube channel tends to do well. See, I'm being honest, I'm being transparent. I really want Critical Role to succeed because I talk about them a lot. And like the difference between a Critical Role campaign doing well or badly is like whether or not I can eat, you know, whether or not I can make enough money that year to keep doing this thing that I love. So that's one side of my coin. I'm kind of selfish in that scenario. How much I'm enjoying it, I have to say, I love a lot about it. I love a lot about it. One of the biggest things I love about Campaign 4 is just how they're really swinging for the fences. They're taking big steps. They're doing crazy stuff, which is really entertaining and really interesting to me. It feels like they're really pushing the boundary of actual plays, which I am down for. There's some more subjective stuff, though. There's some stuff that I personally don't enjoy as much. And it's not because they're doing it badly or anything. Other people will like it. It's just a subjective thing. But just for the sake of conversation, I find the world to be too confusing. Not confusing, but large and has too much stuff going on. And I wish it was simpler from the get-go and they slowly introduced more to it, because it feels like I'm kind of been thrown into the deep end and I can't swim. And some people will be able to swim. Some people love that. I'm the same with fantasy books a lot of the time, or even TV shows. I would even argue, like, Game of Thrones was the TV show. I loved it to bits, but sometimes House of the Dragon is a better example of this. I don't like having to open up a Wikipedia to find out what's going on, right? I don't like to have to watch YouTube videos to remind me of stuff that's going on. Apart from that, though, I think Brennan is doing a fantastic job. I think all the players are doing a fantastic job. I think it feels... This is contentious. I'm interested to find out what you guys think about this. It feels less like D&D to me than other campaigns. I 100% think that people play like this in their home games, right? And I think I would enjoy playing like this in their home games. I think I just have to get used to it. But sometimes Brennan will kind of say something and they will hand it over to the players, and the players will describe what is happening like the GM. I think in last night's episode, the very, very, very start, it was something Robbie was doing, but it's something that they've obviously all been told to do this, like take control of the world. I think that's the DM style. I think it's cool. It's sometimes I'm just a little bit taken aback by it. I think I've just got to get used to that. And also, the switching of the tables, sometimes, it feels more like a show, this campaign, than I think ever before that's being put on. It feels like an actual play, I should say. Not like a TV show, an actual play. They're still playing D&D. It's still good. It's still fantastic. I think it's definitely can be played at home like this, but this is to the extreme. We're putting on a show for people. What are we waiting? Sorry, I just pop here. Sorry, Mr. Flamel. But yeah, I don't know. How are you guys finding Campaign 4? In general. It's one of those things where I think we're not going to fully understand these first couple of episodes until we're much deeper into the season. Much like Game of Thrones. And I would have had these same criticisms of Game of Thrones 3 episodes in. I know I like it. Know what you mean? The name lore dropping is insane, but I love how all the NPCs seem out to get each other, and that is getting the PCs into lots of trouble. Yeah, they still have it. They still have the players making jokes and laughing above the table and all that jazz. But the push, this is a slight at the game, at the D&D style of the players. The push to constantly create drama and friction between the characters is gonna get tiring, I think. But I think it's because we know that these tables are eventually gonna come together and be one happy family. So I think it's just, the start of campaign. Growing pains. They also seem to be doing a lot more description, a la Daggerheart, describing their feelings and then role-playing it. Yes. Yeah, I've noticed that. Brennan can stay quiet for a very long time. And the players will kind of... I think it was Robbie last night, I think, who was like... my companion sees a particular animal hopping around the floor or something, or it flies past it and it grabs it in its mouth. And I just know some DMs would be like, no, you don't get to say that. There was, it's hard because we don't know where the line is, and I think with Critical Role they have that connection with their players and they have that pre-production that they've done, so everyone is on the same like wavelength of what they can do and what they can't do. When I first started playing D&D, I had my first D&D game with a friend who is fantastic, and she like became a really good D&D player. I don't think I explained the rules properly because I was first time DM as well, so I was still getting used to it. But I would describe the scenes and what was happening around them, and I would hand it over to them, and then they would just choose, usually like, okay, out of the options that I kind of gave them available. Once again, it's my first ever time DMing and playing D&D in any shape or form. And we got about 3/4 of the way through the game, and everyone was enjoying it. And then this one player who really wanted her backstory to come into play said, okay, so I'm going to say, I'll be back in a second to the group, and I'm going to go over to, there's a store over here. And through the store, in the window, I see someone with white hair that maybe I recognize. And I was like, whoa. No. You're a player. You don't get to choose when you run into NPCs or anything like that. In Daggerheart, I've kind of changed my tune a little bit. I think I wouldn't allow a player just to say that this happens, but I would allow that conversation to happen. 100% I would encourage a player to be like, is it okay if maybe I run into my dad here? I'd be like, dude, that sounds freaking awesome. Or let's roll to find out. Let's see what happens. But back then with D&D, I remember just being like, no. This is not how this goes down. This is not how this goes down. But it feels like that's where Critical Role Campaign 4 is moving to a little bit more. Less that they would like just introduce NPCs, but certainly that they have much more control over the narrative than a normal player normally would. Yes, all the other stuff is fantastic. All the other stuff is really, really good. All the characters in general are really intriguing to me. So I can't wait. And also, one of my biggest fears was that it was going to move very slowly. With that many players, I was like, okay, not a lot's going to happen. Or something will happen at one table and then we won't revisit it for a while. But things are moving pretty fast. It feels like. I don't feel like I'm getting hard done by the amount of people. Right. Ooh. Anyway, I said I was going to talk about the Hero Forge stuff, which I have up here. And I have two different styles. So if anyone who doesn't know, Hero Forge, who are normally a company that you can go into their website, you can make a mini, you can customize it, you can color it, and then when you're happy with it, you can buy it, and it will get shipped out to you. That's how I use Hero Forge. There's a few other ways to use Hero Forge. There are subscription services that you can have that gives you access to a lot more items to make stuff with, like extra editions. People who aren't subscribed don't really miss out too much. But if you want to be subscribed, you get access to more stuff, and you get to I think it's cheaper to 3D print these items and stuff. It's just good for people who use it a lot and make a lot of minis. You can just buy a file to 3D print it, but my experience with it is that I like to go in there, I like to make a mini, I like to buy it. They released a new update, which was Daggerheart minis. You can make a Simia, you can make a Ribbit, and you can make a Fungril now. The species in Daggerheart, the ancestors. But to access these things, to even play around with them, to make something, you have to pay $8 per ancestry. So if you wanted to be like, I kind of want a mini that's Daggerheart related, but I want to play around and maybe try making a Simia, maybe try making a Fungrill, maybe try making a Ribbit. You'd have to spend $24 to just access those things to make one. I didn't like it at all because I wanted to buy Daggerheart Mini. I do not want to pay $8 because there's a world where I pay $8, I go in, I try and make a Ribbit, I find that I can't actually make one I like, and then I don't buy it. And I spent $8. For nothing. I liken it to going into a clothes shop and trying on clothes, but then in this clothes shop, there is an area with special clothes where you have to pay $8 to enter. Like, you can see pictures of the clothes, for example, but you can't go in and try clothes on unless you pay $8. And then you have to, buy the clothes at the end of it if you want them. There was uproar in this. People love Hero Forge and people love Daggerheart. They have a really passionate fan base. So the fact that they teamed up on this and people complained about it, the fanboys would really rip into those people complaining, or they'd blame the other side. It was kind of wild. The amount of people I had who just said, like, this is just business, or do you not want these things to succeed? And I'm just like, I'm not saying, I'm just complaining that I can't make my Daggerheart Mini and buy it. That's my issue here. That's my issue. But also, everybody hated it online. Like, apart from the fanboys, it was mostly disliked across the board. Anywho, they now came out with an update, which is a huge thing of, I think it's 3 pages long. I won't read the whole thing. I'll just give you the overview. And I think they've done well here. I do think they've done well here, by the way. I think they've handled this well. Because my other issue with these things is that they do it and then they stay quiet for too long. Or they don't revert, or they don't do anything, like they're not listening. These guys, I think it was like 3 days later, they've changed it. They have said that they were told by the company that they wanted partnerships with IPs, and that they put out a poll to their most common users and asked, hey, if you want these IPs, are you okay with paying extra money for it? And 60% of people said yeah, right? So then they were like, okay, cool. That's the majority of people want this. They did it with Daggerheart, and when it reached the masses, the people who weren't mega fans, who weren't filling out these surveys, they got kickback. Like, we don't want to do this. So they've come out now and said, we are making this content free for people with subscriptions, because it wasn't before. And they're going to talk to Daggerheart about maybe changing it up a bit. It feels like we're still going to live in a world where I have to pay $8 just to look and make a mini, though, which sucks for me. It's a pity. Like, the way I can't use Hero Forge the way I want to use it. I don't want to sound entitled. It's just a pity for me. But the funniest thing I found, and I'll see if it's still the same because I looked at these yesterday, is that I went on. I saw this on Reddit originally, on the Hero Forge Reddit, but on X, it's full of people who are like, this is a good move forward, but this easily could have been avoidable. Considering OnlyFans have had to actually beg their users for money in the past to subscribe, be a backer and buy minis, and everyone who supports Hero Forge have done so, the fact that you entertain paywalls is just a kick in the teeth. So these are all like people being like, I'm glad you've changed it, but this still sucks, right? But on Kickstart, on Reddit, see if the comments are still the same. Oh wow, there's so many more now. When I first looked at this, it was full of people who were just like, amazing job, everyone. If it weren't for everyone making it extremely clear how much we dislike this, we would have gotten this response. Oh, sorry, this person's on our side. But a lot of people saying this is a really good response. A lot of people saying this seems like a fair solution. Yeah, it looks like this has got a lot more comments. But my point is, it was just funny how, depending on what space you're in, an echo chamber really does happen. Because originally, when I looked at the Reddit, it was all people being like, guys, you didn't have to do this. We understand. Other people are just being like too picky, or other people are being like, wow, you're such a great company for doing this and blah blah blah. And then you go to like another place and they're all like, this is still bad. This still isn't on. It's just so funny to me. You sent them a message asking them if I could buy the fee and then let customers pick what they wanted and I would build by print a mini. What did they say? Surely a deal to allow Critical Role to cut every Daggerheart style purchase would be better. To be fair, it might have only been about 10-15% of the Hero Forge complaining. Maybe they'll compromise and make it $8 to access all Daggerheart ancestries rather than $8 each. To be fair, it might have only been about 10-15% of the Hero Forge complaining. Dude, there were hundreds of comments on social media, all like negative. Now, of course, you don't know how many of these people actually would even buy it anyway. But I'm fine paying more for a Daggerheart Mini. I'm fine for it. Like, I think when people see me complaining, they think, oh, you just want like Daggerheart and Hero Forge to just give this away for free. Like the IP doesn't mean anything. No, by all means, make me pay $8 more. That can go towards Hero Forge and Daggerheart. Just make it happen at checkout. I feel like someone just mentioned this. But I agree. It's like, if I build a mini and it has Daggerheart assets, when I click on the asset, have a little thing that says, oh, by the way, this is an IP. It will cost you more at checkout if you want to use this. And I can click, I confirm. And then it's a much easier pill to swallow for me to spend $50 instead of $40 at checkout when I actually know what I like. I just don't want to like pay $8 to enter the thing to find out what I like. Champs of the Table, thank you for the subscription. 2 months, dude. Thank you so much. What is the typical cost of a Hero Forge 28mm or so scale mini? I think I was looking, if you wanted to buy a painted mini, which is normally what I want, for me in Canada, no, it's in USD, I think. It would cost $40 to get that made, and I think it would cost extra for shipping. So you can create it, you paint it, you do all that stuff, and then you go to checkout. Boom, you're out of there with it. $40. Let's say $40. So it really is like $40 or $48. There's the difference. My issue is not with the price. I just don't like paying for things twice, and I think the biggest issue here is just there's so many different ways of using Hero Forge, and there are people out there who like to just 3D print. They'll buy cheap 3D printable files, and $8 for access to, 30 or 40 Daggerheart assets is really good for them, because they're going to make 30 or 40 files out of that and then print them all off. And it's like $8 for all this? That's great. But those are the diehard fans who have 3D printers and print a lot of minis. But there's still a very large fan base, like me, who don't use Hero Forge like that. As I said in previous videos, I maybe go on Hero Forge once a year and buy 2 or 3 minis. Maybe not even that, maybe just one mini. And I will recommend it to my players to do the same thing. So they will go and buy a mini. And the way that I use it is much more harder of a sell if I was like, players, oh, my Daggerheart players, we should all get Hero Forge minis. All of us just have to pay $8 to access it, and then another $40 after that if we want one. I know you get a custom mini, but that's a lot for one mini. But up to everyone to make that personal choice. Yeah, I mean, it's not just a custom mini. It's a painted or coloured custom mini, right? I don't like painting minis, to be honest. I don't want to buy a paint set. I don't want to buy a brush. I don't want to spend a lot of time making it. So for me, I think it's a really nice customizable thing that I can give as a gift to someone, like a player, and I don't have to put as much work in. So it's like, that's where the money kind of goes. Get all of you together, I'll give you a book discount. Thanks, Bards. Don't surprise me at checkout. That's where it's going to get me. I know living in Carter is already going to be more than expected, lol, and add more. Come on now. I'm not saying get me at checkout. I'm saying when I click on the Daggerheart stuff, give me a warning that says, hey, we're going to add this at checkout. Right? So then I know. Then I know not to use it. I'm like, oh, do I use the Daggerheart rivet head, or do I just make a different mini? But it all comes down to preference. It just, I feel like there is another way of doing it that is better for everyone involved. Do I know what a plain custom mini would be? I can find out for you. Here, let's have a look. Loading. One of the other biggest issues as well is, I don't know how big Hero Forge is. It feels like a big operation in general, but it's probably not. It's probably a much smaller deal. Like, does it make a lot of money? Alright, so this is what we're looking at here. Myself up there. So you can get a little keychain of your guy for $15. You can get a steel one for $50, which is pretty cool as like a keepsake. Or you can make it extra large for 12 more bucks. You can get a colored plastic one for $40, or an extra large one to add $17. So this is what I would do. It'd be a plus here for like Daggerheart stuff, right? Like $8. They'd actually make more money from me doing that because I'm an idiot. So I would like buy multiple and add $8 to each one rather than just pay $8 once and be able to make 3, you know? Colored statue. Oh yeah, premium plastic, just normal plastic is $20 for a normal plastic dude. But yeah, there's a lot more. And it's still $8 for an STL file. So I think that's where the subscription comes in and really helps out with this stuff as well. I don't actually know how much the subscriptions are though. Can I find out how much it costs to subscribe to Hero Forge? So for Hero Forge subscriptions, for free you get full color design tools, new content every week, screenshot exports, and direct links to your designs. And then the second you go to Pro, you get kit bashing, which just allows you to like do a lot more with moving things around on your model. A token maker, folders for saved characters. Beta content, and that's $3.99 a month. And then, sorry, technically, if you went month to month, $5.99 a month. And then if you wanted to also have 5 free digital credits per month, which I believe will allow you to get those digital files, or you get free. You also get free monthly featured pre-made digital packs like the Daggerheart packs. Then that will cost you $20 a month. Which is why people were mad, because people had this and were paying $20 a month but didn't have access to the Daggerheart stuff. Which I get, and that's what they've reverted. This is the 4th day in a row I've streamed still, Coach. I've gone for it. I've really gone for it. will be completely transparent here. The reason why I'm streaming so much this week is because I like streaming. I'm kind of addicted to it, even though the viewership, certainly on this channel, if I went to my other channel, I was doing much better. I remember, like, before I moved streaming to this channel, I think one of my streams had 90 viewers. 9-0. And it blew my mind. I could not believe it. And then my next one had much less, like 25 or something. And I was like, oh, this is awful. But it was really, I don't know, it was really messing with my video views, I think. Maybe I'm just being superstitious. But that's why I moved over to this channel. And I'm streaming to much less because it's much smaller. But I also had a cold sore. I had herpes of the mouth. They're just scars now, but it's the red dot here, red dot here. I don't know if anyone else suffers from cold sores, but I normally get one when I'm like run down, and I had 4 this time around. I've never had more than 1 in my life. I get 1 like every 6 months. I had 4 cold sores. I had like 1 here, like 2 on this side, and 1 right at the bottom of my lip. And I was like, I am really run down. I need to chill. I'm stressed. I'm run down. I'm not sleeping. And I was very self-conscious about my mouth situation. And since my last video on my main channel is doing so well, it's like 170,000 views right now. I was like, I don't want to make another one in case it also pops off. And I don't want 170,000 people looking at my herpes lips. And also, because it's doing so well, it means I don't have to make a video this week. So I was like, okay, I won't make a video on my main channel this week. What shall I do? I was like, oh, I'll just stream. I'll just stream a ton. Please don't buy that cheap versions of printed Hero Forge miniatures. Their quality is crap. No. I've had a good experience with Hero Forge stuff. I've gone for painted stuff. I bought like a brass one once. I like Hero Forge stuff. I have had minis break. Like, I have had them, like, have, like, a sword or something that's snapped. That can happen. So you could argue, yeah, the quality's not great. But I just like it for convenience. And I like it for the, you know, you go in and it's fun to make a mini. It's fun to get it out there. It's just the best version of that at the moment, I feel like. Plus, it's kind of hard to just buy individual minis. Like, is that insane to say? I feel like getting an individual mini is hard. You've got to buy, like, a pack. And on top of that, you got to paint them yourself. I'm so aggressively against getting into painting because I feel like it might negatively affect my life. I'm either going to hate it or I'm going to like it a lot. And it's going to become a thing where, like, oh yeah, for hours a week I paint. I paint when I should be making videos. I'm painting now. Streaming is fun. Streaming is fun. It just, because I'm a full-time content creator now, for me, unless I can figure out a way to turn streams into videos, which is what I've been trying to do this week, it's just not worth the time. I need to stream. If I want to stream, I need to have like I need to put my foot down and say, if I want to stream, it has to be not during work hours. It's got to be a hobby. Even though it's tied to my content creation, I can't afford to do a couple of hours of streaming a week because I could make a video in that time, and the video would do way better. It's weird. YouTube suggests having 2 different accounts for long form and live stream. Does it? Champs. I would like to see where they've actually said that, because normally they don't like giving information like that out. But I've certainly heard YouTubers suggest it. And the new thing for me is multi-streaming. Right now I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube. I have a combined viewership of 15 on YouTube and 5 on Twitch, so 20. I like that number. I'm very happy with that number. If I just stream to one, right, I would have much less. I like Twitch a lot. I really want to stream to Twitch. If I just stream to Twitch, I'd only have 5 viewers, and it's much harder to pull new people into Twitch. So I multi-stream. However, no one else multi-streams. Like, Ludwig and Moist Critical multi-stream and do very, very well. But all their friends, right? Like, if you look at Ludwig, who's a huge streamer, if you look at the people around him, he plays with, like, Squeaks a lot. He plays with Atriok a lot. Like, other streamers who are doing very, very well and make YouTube videos a lot as well do not multi-stream. And I've got to ask, like, why? They must know. They must know something. Because you'd think streaming to 2 places instead of 1 is just better. So if you're actively... If the majority of, like, streamers who do this for a living and have access to a lot of more information than I have are choosing not to do it, I'm like, am I making a mistake by multi-streaming? You know? Painting things you're fair to, yeah, I'll lose so much time. Or, like, there'll be, like, painting guilt, where I'm like, I've not painted this week, I need to paint. Minis can be addiction, even collecting the better pre-paints. Yeah, I've been very lucky that, God damn it, it's not Wizards of the Coast, WizKids. Oh my god, my brain just went. I don't really have a relationship with them now, but last year, WizKids contacted me because I had shown off their minis on videos, and were like, hey, do you want to be part of our mailing list? We'll send out free minis. And they sent me so many minis. I have too many minis. I'm probably going to do a video showcasing everything I own for TTRPGs before the end of the year. But they sent me big minis, they sent me small minis, they sent me Baldur's Gate 3 minis. I have copies of minis because they sent me duplicates. They sent me painted ones and pre-painted ones. And now I just have too many. Like, minis are no longer an issue for me. Like, very particular minis are an issue. I kind of wish I had certain ones and others, but just having them there to be like, hey, I know this guy's holding a sword, but imagine they're holding a bow. Or I know this guy's like not as big, but imagine he's much bigger. I'm putting that down. I'm in a pretty good place. But my contact, I had to, but they kept sending me minis, and I had to ask them to stop because a few months ago, I was really struggling with paying rent, and every time they send me a free mini, I have to pay tax on that mini. And they would send me minis worth $100 or $80, and I would have to pay, you know, 10, 20 bucks in tax at the end of the year. And I was like, I can't afford this. Stop sending me stuff, please. Or I was like, can you just let me know when you're going to send me stuff and let me opt in and out of each individual thing? Like, let me know what you're sending me. Because like I said, they would send me duplicates. And they said they don't really have the ability to do that. You're just on the list and get sent the stuff out or not. And then I said, okay, can you stop sending me them for now then? And they were like, yes, we'll stop sending you them for now. And then the guy who was doing that job has now left the company and I have no contact there, so I'm out. I feel like Twitch viewers tend to be more dedicated but harder to get, where YouTube stream viewers are easier to get but not as dedicated. But that's just my observation. I think you've nailed it. I think you have nailed it. Certainly, certainly the Bard's Forge just gifted me a subscription, or gifted Wardy and the Goblin a subscription to me. And no one ever joins my channel on YouTube. It's like I don't have any channel members on YouTube. But over here, I didn't even ask for that, and Bard's Forge is just generous and awesome. Sent me a subscription. So thank you. To be honest, I think it comes down to an audience split. You don't want to alienate one audience. By the way, hi YouTube. I mean, do you guys... I know I've got a few creators in here, but how many of you have tried to be a content creator or a streamer or a YouTuber? Or how many of you like think they would like it? I'm very curious about that. Because whenever I watch YouTubers or live streams, I watch it under the lens of like, I want to do this. So it must be a very different experience for people who are just like, no, I just want to be entertained. It's hard for me to switch off and watch a YouTube video without, thinking about the music choice or the way it's edited or the script, for example. But yeah, I think, Champs, you might be right about the audience split. You don't want to alienate one audience. That's why I have chat up, so you can see both as well. But I don't know, for those bigger streamers, I've seen some people just be like, hey, I'm going to go live on YouTube, but if you want to chat, come to Twitch. So then you get the YouTube discoverability. People can come in, they can't chat, but then they move to Twitch and you get more. On paper, multi-streaming is just a win-win. But no one's doing it, so it must have. My theory is that people know that live streaming on YouTube can have a negative effect on your videos on YouTube, especially if you are just making videos out of your streams, because people will watch one or the other, not both. But who knows? YouTube is a magical, mystical thing. What is the tier 1, 2, 3? For Twitch subscriptions, I think that's just if you want to give me more money or less money. I wouldn't give me tier 2 or tier 3. If you want to subscribe, just give me tier 1. But better yet, if you want to subscribe to me on Twitch, give me your free Prime membership if you have it, so that no one loses, except Bezos. What do you mean you have 26 printers? Oh, because you do it. Right. It's not just you as a hobby having 26 printers. Sure, the minis do it now. They're all downstairs, and there's got to be 50 or 60 of them. Question: who are the D&D YouTubers to watch? Hey, let's go down that rabbit hole, actually, because I like talking about it. I would say, let me just get them. The one that is killing it right now, or the three that. Okay, let me figure out how to phrase this. There are 4 D&D tubers that I think are very good and should be namestays in this space. And sometimes they do better, sometimes they don't. That's just the world of YouTube. They'll come in and out, but the way they make videos and their dedication to it and how they come across on camera and all that stuff is top tier. I think those people are Ginny D, who is always on top. It's like Ginny D does very, very well, putting out weekly videos. D&D Shorts. I don't think D&D Shorts can make a bad video. And even if D&D Shorts is another one. I think D&D Shorts doesn't make content as much anymore because I think he's just very, very set. Pointy Hat is the one who I think is killing it, because Pointy Hat is still relatively new. He was at it for a year longer than me, and maybe 2 years longer. But Pointy Hat is destroying at it right now. I don't think he can make a bad video. And I think even if he did make a bad video, his audience wouldn't care. I think he just gets hundreds of thousands of views no matter what he does. And then Bob Worldbuilder is the other one. I think Bob Worldbuilder is just very, very good at just keeping on it. And he's still also not that old in the general space of things. He was at it for a few years longer than me as well. But yeah. The bad stories, Ginny D, Dungeon Dudes, D4 Deep Dive. Yes, I think with Dungeon Dudes are killing it as well. They also come in and out of popularity, and D4 Deep Dive is great. I don't think they've reached their final forms yet. I don't think D4 Deep Dive has. I think he will soon. I think he's gonna land on something really good. But he's very, very niche, right? And he does what he does so freaking well. And he has expanded past that. Dungeon Dudes are, in my mind at this point, Dungeon Dudes are just a publishing company. as much as they are creators, but they've been out for so long and they're so well loved. And live in Toronto as well. The Dungeon Dudes, if you ever see this, hit me up. Let's go for a pint. Wish I could do weekly. I fell off hard once I had my kid, lol. I don't even have the excuse of a kid, and I struggle to do weekly. I don't know how people do it, honestly. Without an editor. XP to level 3 also destroys. He's really good. Yeah, unless I had an editor, I just don't know how people... Because if I was doing a weekly thing, a weekly video, it would want to look like Monday, right? I wake up, I have to come up with a video idea that I think is going to do well. I have to write a script, and I have to make a thumbnail, if not more than one thumbnail, because we've got the A/B testing now, so maybe 2 or 3 thumbnails. And if I want to do all those 3 things well, I feel like you want to be researching a good video idea for like the majority of day 1. Like that's such a huge part of it. Maybe day 1 is like you research, you do some market research, you find a good video idea, and then you plan it and you make 3 thumbnails for it. That's a full day. That's like full 8 hours, if not longer, working. Then Tuesday is like you write the script. You're going to spend a full day writing a script. Let's say you write the script and film on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday has to be editing non-stop. Unless you have a really easy editing style. Editing takes forever. And then once you've done that, you've got no room to answer emails about sponsorships. Reach out for sponsorships. Do any kind of community building. Certainly you can't live stream like this or do anything like this because you just spent the whole time making a video and nothing else. And then God forbid you have any technical difficulties whatsoever, because the second you have a technical difficulty, which happens all the time, you're way out of whack. So I think for me, it takes 10 days to make a video on average. I think that's a better way of looking at it. You have like 3 extra days to be doing all that other stuff. Obviously, people who get agents or get editors or get thumbnail designers, or have people who help out making stuff. I always think about... Oh, I kick myself now. When you asked about YouTubers to watch, Mystic Arts is like an anomaly at the moment. He only started what feels like a few months ago. He's got more subscribers than me now on YouTube, and he does so well. And he puts out like 2 videos a week. And for the longest time, I was like, how is he doing that? How is he... They're good videos. How is he doing that? And the answer's all right there all the time. He makes it with his wife or girlfriend. Like, there's 2 of them, right? That's how they're doing that. There's 2 people who run that channel. You just don't see the other person as much. So they can, like, really pump stuff out. Because don't underestimate the power of just having someone next to you saying, we have to finish this. We have to do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. It goes a very long way to have that extra bit of motivation. Recently, I've been enjoying Power Word Spill. Oh, so many of them. Me and Power Word Spill, I always look at him because we started around the same time. I'm very jealous of his setup because he's obviously got like a background in production. And yes, yeah, Power Word Spill is one to watch as well. Deficient Master as well. I saw a video where Professor DM said he does his weekly videos while holding down 3 jobs. Yeah, that's insane. That isn't... What are you doing? Your own health has to come into play there, right? But, I mean, Professor Dungeon Master's videos are just talking heads, though, I think. It's just him. He has the same set. He doesn't go and film any other angles. He doesn't try and like play the YouTube metagame by doing crazy stuff. It's just him. He sits down. I presume Dungeon Master, Professor Dungeon Master's biggest like bottleneck is writing. I think he'll spend most of his time writing, and then he could film and edit pretty fast. But still, it's still impressive. It's still impressive. well, having 3 jobs is wild. Is wild. My average video, I tend to try, because I just don't have that pre-built audience, and I feel a need to really push my retention up. So I tend not to just sit in one place. My last video, which has got 170k views, is just me sitting in one place. So that's an outlier. So maybe I'll change things up. But I like to film in different rooms, in different camera shots, just because I like that feeling and that variety. And I like to try and make graphics and things. And this mostly comes from a place for me where I'm trying to learn as well. So I want to learn to be a better editor. I want to learn to be a better thumbnail designer. I want to learn how to light my shots or film certain ways. So all those aspects take much longer for me. I'm sure eventually, once I get good at it all, it'll speed right up. I feel like people don't realize how much work goes into a single YouTube video. You might clock a 28-hour week for 0 pay and 100 views. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even that. It's like some videos. Every YouTuber has this story. They will spend a month on a video that gets 100 views, and then they will just sit down and talk to the camera and film a video in 4 hours, and that will get 30,000 views. And it's like, this doesn't make any sense. But then they try and do the sit down and talk to the camera again, and it gets 100 views. And it's like, mixed signals, YouTube, mixed signals. I used to love PDM, but his spiral down on clickbait, bad faith information has really turned me off him. At least he's transparent about it, though. Like, in all fairness, Professor Dungeon Master, he's made videos about why he does those kind of videos, and is very open and transparent about it. So, yeah, it's just preference, I guess. At this point, it's just what his audience likes, and it's what he likes making. Yeah, his news videos talking head, and I think he probably spends a while researching though and getting stuff in order. Watching my videos maybe want to get back into YouTube and even try something like D&D video compared to gaming ones that I used to. Still, guys, that's so funny because in my mind I'm like, I kind of want to make a new channel that's gaming in some way. Good old classic. Effort doesn't equal quality of views. Yeah. It's also with the hardest thing for goddamn words. The hardest pill for me to swallow is that when people say effort in YouTube, it doesn't mean purely the amount of time you put into something, right? That it does in other stuff. It's like, oh, more effort is more time, more exertion. But I think what effort means in YouTube terms, because I do think effort leads to more views, effort is like being creative, right? And putting time and effort into like being unique and being creative, which doesn't mean anything, right? Because you don't know how to do that. But some of my best videos, the videos that I've made where I have like written a script, which would just look like a normal YouTube video script. And then I've stopped at each point in there and I've said, can I do this differently? Can I do this more creatively? And then I end up rewriting that script completely. And then I go into filming, and while filming, I ask myself those same questions. I'm going to film this from this angle. Is this the best way to do it? Is it the most creative way to do it? And the answer is usually no. And I'll experiment, I'll try different things, and I'll end up with a lot more interesting footage. And then I'll get to the edit, and I'll do the same thing. I edit, and then I re-edit, then I re-edit it. But when you make a video like that, that's a month. That's a full month, and I'm full-time. That's a full month I've just spent on that video. And there's no way it's doing as well as 4 average videos. So that's kind of the biggest issue. It's kind of the biggest issue. Anyway. Okay. I actually... How long have I been live for now? Am I doing video essays or something? What, me? Huh? Someone called my last video a video essay, and I guess it is, but I never thought about it like that. I always thought about those kind of videos as more like a discussion stuff. A month? No. So my last example of that is a video I did called I Became a #1 Best-Selling Author. It is a 10 out of 10. Worst video I've made in a while. It took me a month to make. And I'm very, very proud of it. And I did it. I became a #1 best-selling author in that month. But my audience just wasn't interested in it, unfortunately. If I'm doing video essays in general, that's like a week and a half. 1 week or a week and a half, depending. It's like, you can do it weekly, but you're working weekends, you know? And I think a lot of YouTubers do that. On Twitch? Oh, thank you for that. Let me fix that right now, actually. That is extremely helpful. Edit. No, that's not what I need to edit. Sorry, Goblin attention span doing too many things at once. No, you're all good. You're all good. Wait, what? Why does my Twitch look different here than it does on my Mac? Okay. New Discord link. Let me grab it. Let's get this stream deep from another video of mine. Oh, I also need to change my YouTube. Okay. This is, thank you for pointing this out because there's a lot. Let's see, a lot broken in this. Okay. Now it should work. Seriously, sounds because Macs are tools of the Demogorgon. No, they're not. Macs are fine. I just want to give things quality I know I can give it. Yeah. And it's also just what I enjoy doing as well. Like, I enjoy putting the extra pizzazz and effort into my videos. So. Did my Prime sub get through? I think I'm having tech difficulties and I think the goals bar did not rise. Could be me though. I don't have any information on here that says that you Prime subbed. But no worries, I appreciate the thought. Right, 1 second. I'm just gonna get some more water. I'll literally be right back. In fact, I'll get some water and I'll pee. Do I have a BRB screen? Add text. Nailed it. Oh my god. Witness me. There you go, lads. I'll be right back. Still not working? What? What? Alright, I need to pee. I'll be back. Righty then. Welcome everyone to the stream. We're watching paint dry. Clap knife, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. That came through. That's fantastic. Thanks, buddy. Quality graphic right there. Dude, my BRB screen is next level. Oh, I even cut it off. I really want everyone to know that I'm going to BRB. Ah, there it goes. It just took that long? That's crazy. Oh, there's apparently a Daggerheart dice bot for Discord happening on a Reddit right now. German internet. I would love... Okay. I want the ability to play Daggerheart with chat on stream, and I would love a way to roll in general. So maybe I'll set this up on Discord and see how that's going. But just in general, would you guys be down to try playing Daggerheart on stream? Like, so... oh, my cat's making so much noise. Here, in my mind, here's how it would kind of work, right? We would come to Demiplane for the dice rolling and character creation and everything. We can do a little test now, a little 10-minute test to see what the deal here is. And then I can use tap map. So now you guys can click on the screen if you're on Twitch, and it will show me where you're clicking in general. And that way we can kind of see what you guys want to do as a collective whole. Yeah, you got it. Let me just change my title on stream, because maybe I'll get some more people in if I say playing Daggerheart with stream. Or playing Daggerheart with chat. It's got to be all capital letters though. Playing Daggerheart. Thank you for the follow still, Cage. This is maybe why people don't multi-stream, because there's a lot going on when I want to change anything. Okay. So so yeah, wherever you click, the majority of you like try and click on top of each other, like to add to it. We can make a character and we can figure out what you guys want to play over here. So we can start with, we can come back to for our name, let's say, we've done this before and we had like Twitchy, because it's Twitch chat playing, right? So Twitchy can be our name. It could be he, him, because I just think I don't have a lot of women in here. Any women? It's mostly men. And let's choose our class. So the problem is I can't fit everything on here, but you guys can click what kind of class you want. And if you don't want any of these and you want me to scroll down, you can click underneath here. So let's see what kind of class you guys want to play. Does the tapping thing work mobile? Oh, I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. Oh. And also, bye, Clapknife. Gotta go. I love that Trinder is saying goodbye to Clapknife on YouTube to Twitch, meaning people are using the chat, which is nice. Had to reload page because it replaced the BG3 Twitch overlay. Right. This seems useful. Can it be color coordinated? Like you want yours to be a specific color? All right, people want to go down. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Fully, I guess. You guys let me know if you want to play any of those. But no, it cannot be color coordinated. Oof, back to YouTube for you. Sorry, man. So you can just shout things out, though. People seem to want to play Sorcerer more than anything, which is fun. It's like Sorcerer and Warlock are like the two that are getting the most clicks. So let's go for Sorcerer. I'm not that well read on the demiplane stuff, so I presume now we are good. We've selected. Oh, so we've got to hit select class. There you go. There we go. Then it takes us to heritage. So now we get to choose a subclass. It's much easier for you guys. You can choose between these two. I wish the things were bigger, but I guess this wasn't made specifically for this. Looks like Primal Origin is what most people want to go. Oh, okay. Primal Origin it is. Selecting. Alright, let me just reset this to get rid of those other ones. You should just be able to click though. That's our card. This is great because I can kind of learn like a lot more about demiplane as well as Daggerheart by going through this, because I've not played with the sorcerer character yet. So this is interesting. I've not seen much of this. I've not had a player who's a sorcerer. That's a lie. Not a primal origin sorcerer. Reach your webpage to make it easier to click. Hold on. I can, but then we lose here. It's much easier to click now, but we've lost, like, we have to scroll more, but it's fine. So primarily set our traits. So we can just use suggested. Are you guys happy with that? Or do you guys want... here's the thing. You guys can click on what you want your highest trait to be and what you want your lowest trait to be. So you can choose agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, or knowledge. Wait, what did I do with my drink? What? Am I going crazy? Okay, you guys are going with... So I feel like you guys are going with the suggested traits, which is pretty good. Most people seem to want to just go on to choose a starting weapon. We'll move on. We'll use the suggested traits. Viz 100%, intelligence 0%. Who wouldn't want a muscle bound sorcerer though? That is true. That is true. But it looks like you guys are pro instinct. Alright. Hold on, did that go through? I don't actually know. Yeah, I think it did. Okay, starting weapons is... Oh, well, this is going to be... I'm just going to choose this for you, I think. I think if there's too many options, then the easiest thing will just to get through it. So sorcerer is dual staff. And... Oops. You know what? Just dual staff's fine. We want to keep this as simple as possible so you guys can just click very few things. Starting armor, we'll just take the recommended, which is Gamson. Starting inventory. Okay, you guys can choose this now. Let me restart that. There you go. Do you want a health potion or stamina potion? Okay, people want a family heirloom, which we can take as well. That's crazy that you don't want a Whispering Orb. But yeah, minor health or minor stamina. Is this click map? This is tap map. Okay, you guys don't care. I will go with health potion. And then you guys can choose any two of these domain cards. Unleash Chaos is a solid one. Spend tokens from this card to unleash raw energy from yourself against a target. So we'll go for that. Then we can have pick and pull. You have advantage on action rolls to pick non-magical locks, disarm non-magical traps, or steal items from a target. Vein of Blades sounds pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Spend a hope to make a spellcast roll and conjure throwing blades that strike out at all targets within very close range. Targets you succeed against take d8 plus 2 magic damage using your proficiency. If a target you hit is vulnerable, they take an extra 1d8 damage. I think we might go with that. Or Wall Walk, where you can walk in ceilings and stuff. Let's go with Vein of Blades. And then traits. We already did, sorry. Oh, we're done. Right? Should it not take me into the next thing? Oh, it's because I didn't choose a second starting weapon, maybe? Nah, I think we just go to Heritage, which is, you know, the fun stuff now. What kind of heritage do you want to be? So you can be something void, you can be a Theris, which are like angel creatures. You can be a Clank, which are like robots, AI. Dracona, which are dragon-born people. Dwarfs, Earthkin, Elves, Emberkin, Fairy, Fawn, Furbolg, Fungril, Galapa, Giant, Gnome, Goblin, Halfling, Human, Infernus, Qatari, Orc. There's so many now. Hold on, before you guys click, let's just... Ribbit, Samaya, Skykin, or Tykin. So first off, I want to see if anyone wants to be any of these four. We'll do it like this. I'm going to reset it, and then we'll look at the percentage afterwards. Does anyone want to be one of these four heritages, ancestors? Wardian wants to go Clank. Okay. Okay, so no one wants to be these. Good to know, good to know. Oh, am I dropping frames? Still Cage Fairy, question mark? Well, we got Fairy and Clank on here. I'm going to make this... Valicano HGH. God, I'm losing my mind. Thank you for the follow. How's it going? Alright. Does anyone want to go any of these ancestors? This isn't useful, I guess. Just type the ancestry you want to be in chat. And I'll go with whoever chooses something first. If not, we'll just go Clank. Okay, Clank it is. Wardian, you get it. Clanks are sentient mechanical beings built from a variety of materials, including metal, wood, and stone. Purposeful design. Decide who made you and for what purpose. At character creation, choose one of your experiences and that best aligns with this purpose and gain a permanent +1 bonus to it. When you take a short rest, you can choose a long rest move instead of a short rest move. Cool, Clank, nice. Okay. And then community-wise, once again, too many of these. You can be from Dunes, like sandy stuff, I guess. You can be Freeborn, you can be Frostborn, Heartborn, Highborn, Lowborn, Orderborn. Dear chat, is Clank a slur? It's not a slur yet. It's not a slur yet. But it depends on how the evolution of the human race and AI goes. It could one day be one. Oh god, Reborn. Okay. This is in the beta test. You were once a member of another community, but you can no longer remember it. Once per session, you can spend a hope to use an ally's community ability. When you do, your ally gains a hope. Well, we don't have any allies in this scenario. Are you guys sure you want to do something where you literally get no benefit? At any point when you discover the community you were once part of or have joined a new community, you can permanently trade this community card for that one instead. Only my stream is freezing for some reason. Could be my internet, I guess. It says I have an excellent connection. Oh no, my Twitch is unstable. No, you're right. I'm struggling. Okay, hold on. It's not good. You're currently half Clank. I aspire to become fully cyborg. Nice. That sounds really cool, actually. Yeah, I wonder if there's a tap map thing, because because Twitch is struggling right now. Let me try closing tap map. Yeah, YouTube's fine. Stream looks good. Oh. There ain't no reason. Yeah, my Twitch says poor network connection detected. It might be because I'm multi-streaming as well. Could be why some people don't multi-stream as well. Damn, we kind of need people on Twitch to play with chat in this way. So that's kind of a bummer. Yeah, I'm watching myself and I'm so laggy. Holy crap. Take that, Twitch Chalice. Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird because the way I multi-stream is it goes to Twitch first. Twitch gets the original stream and then it like piggybacks off that to YouTube. So Twitch really should be the strongest one here. I'm kind of hoping it just gets better. I'm down to give it like 30 more seconds to improve, but then we may have to stop this experiment. Yeah, unstable still. Don't do this to me, Twitch. Also, don't scream clank in the chat. Okay, I don't think it's getting any better. Fine. I'll just talk to YouTube then. Where it actually works. My Twitch is way behind. Yeah, I think my Twitch is broken for whatever reason. Save the character and come out to check. What do you mean? I mean, we barely created a character, so I'm not that bothered about saving this guy. Next time we try this, we can just jump back to a clank sorcerer. Yeah, you know what? We can still hold on. Let me real quick just speed run this character creation. Let's just make him a highborn. And do we want to make them a do we want to make them a vampire or a demigod? Maybe. No. This is just a test. This is just a test. Let's not. Oh, you think it might be Demi-plane that's causing the Twitch issues? I don't know about that. So if we go to our character sheet now and check out Twitchy in all their glory, we're laughing, huh? So now if I asked you, like chat in general, a vampire clanker does sound awesome, actually. A vampire reborn clanker. So let's start off very easily. We're not reinventing the wheel here. Let's just say you guys start in a tavern. We did something similar to this with D&D on stream. We'll say that Twitchy, our clank here, has many different voices and personalities in their head that are all fighting to take control. And that's what you are as chat. How can a clank be a vampire? Don't worry about it. Is a Borg a vampire clanker then? 100%. Yes, 100%. Yeah, you guys start in a tavern. There is a elf behind the bar just kind of cleaning some glasses, minding their own business. There is a bard on a stage nearby playing some music, and there's a couple of other patrons dotted around, and you guys are sat at a table, and one of the patrons approaches you. And before you say kill the elf, one of the guys approaches you, a human, and he sits down. Well, he says, "I might have a proposition for you. Is this seat taken?" Do you allow them to sit down? Or do you tell them to keep moving? I've got to figure out a way to ask a question. Okay. Trinder says go up to the bar and ask for a drink of oil. Velicano, sit. Alright, boys, how do we feel about railroading this and killing everyone? Obvious trap. Alright, Trinder, we'll say that before this happened, you got yourself a nice drink of oil that you're sat with, sipping now. You guys say, sit. And the human sits down and says, I hear you're a little bit crazy. I hear voices in your head. But I hear you get things done. My boss wants you to, if you're willing to take it, my boss wants you to, let's say, commandeer an item for him, if you're interested. And you'll get one handful of gold. if you do this. What do you do? That's it. It's like 1 handful of gold? Yeah. Unless you try and negotiate with me. That's all I'm offering. Make it 2 bags of gold. Okay, now we're talking. So now we will make this a presence check to try and get some more money out of him. How do I roll on here? It's down here, I think. Duality dice. No. I think I just click presence, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get any dice rolling animation. But you guys got a 10 with fear. Okay? You unfortunately do not succeed in the negotiation. And the guy says, it's 1. And you're lucky to get that. And he says, I was going to give you half now and half later, but you'll get both. You get both halves. I don't know how he's going to split. I guess it's a handful of gold. He says you get the full thing once it's done. You just need to go to this location at this time. And he slips you a piece of paper. And he says, here's the thing. After this little interaction now, if you betray us or you don't get this back to us, there's going to be some serious repercussions. What's the catch? Who are we stealing from? Look, if you really want to know, you're stealing from a very bad guy. Someone who's caused my boss a lot of trouble. And if you run into any issues taking from this person, then do what you need to do. And he kind of gets up and he walks away. You guys pick up the piece of paper he slipped to you. And it has a address, a time, and it says there'll be I almost said tiefling, but there'll be an infernus sat in this waiting room of this doctor's office at this time. You need to take from his pocket what is described as like an orb of some kind, but that's all the information you have. Man, I should have actually prepped for this in some way, shape, or form. He's not a cripple. He's not a cripple. The guy comes back in and says, "By the way, he's not a cripple. He's at the doctor's office and he's just sitting. He's actually fine. He's fine. It's just like a cough he has." All right. I don't want to do this too much, so I'm actually playing Daggerheart tonight, and I need to prep for that. I don't know, guys. Can you think of any way that I can make this more engaging for chat in general to do? We could do polls and stuff, but it's always 1 or 2 options, right? Do you recognize the address? Okay, well, let's make a knowledge check, shall we? Well, since we're a sorcerer and not a thief, I guess we need to murder the guy to get it. Polls? Yeah. It's a lot of effort on my side, though. Alright, knowledge check. You got a 10 with fear. Again, exactly the same thing. Not only do you guys not know the place, but as you step outside and start moving towards the place, as a consequence of the fear, the sky gets very grey and you start to feel it raining. A strike of lightning appears in the distance. A storm is coming. No, don't pull me back into this area. That's the questions chat and continue to describe the environment and such. Yeah, I should do that. I'm kind of panicking a little bit. I feel like normally I at least know. I prepped something about the environment and stuff. Maybe I should get some environments prepped for this kind of thing. Add things, quirks that make viewers... that viewers can make that you can throw at your players for succeeding or failing greatly. Ooh. Hollywood Thunder and Lightning. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Why is the damage threshold so low? I think that's just a sorcerer thing, bro. Oh, wait. No, that is crazy. 1 and 2? Do you guys not have the armor equipped? No, wait. You have armor equipped. No armor equipped. I put armor on, though. Do I have to actually equip it? Good spot, bro. Good spot. Alright. You know what? We'll keep going. We're going to get one-shotted. Alright. You guys arrive at the address at the time, and it is a doctor's office, but it's late at night. And through the window, you do see a tiefling in a trench coat with something in his pocket that seems to be bulging out, orb-shaped. Nothing weird. And you see through the window there is a receptionist who is stacking some papers. And you see her move round the back and disappear out of view. So it is just a doorway that leads into this waiting room with this tiefling inside. There is no other people in the room. Right, somebody made that character about it. Okay, guys. The tiefling is pretty chill. He just is kind of like got a pipe, and he's just like lighting the pipe and having a smoke. You don't know. He doesn't seem to have any ailments that would mean he would be in a doctor's office, but nonetheless, he is here. Okay, you want a Vein of Blade. So you've not entered the room yet. You're outside of a window. Would you like to smash the window with Vein of Blades, or would you like to enter the room first? And whatever you do, are you going to be stealthy? I don't know how you Vein of Blades stealthy, but let me remind myself exactly what Vein of Blades does. Spend a hope to make a spellcast roll. And oh, also, there's no way... Hang on. I have 2 fear. 2 fear. Is the tiefling armed? You can try and get a closer look if you go in the room, but it's hard to tell where you are right now. And I'll say, I'm going to spend a fear, and as you're outside, another man, a big guy, approaches the door, walks into the doctor's office, diddling, and you hear him say, "Hey boss, you want some company?" And you see this big guy sit next to the tiefling. You don't see a vampiric clanker primal sorcerer utilizing stealth ever. And man, I think it would be the stealthiest thing around. I think you guys let's say you guys walk in. But the question is, do you want to... There also appears to be a back door as well that you could move around and stealth into the room and maybe get close to him without him knowing if you want to, or you can just walk in and pretend to be a patient. Okay, you walk in, you walk straight in, and you attack. There is 2 people here. And I don't have any adversary blocks in front of me, so I'm just going to quickly say that the difficulty for both these guys is going to be 10. I'm going to give them the same stat block. And I'm going to say... oh God, I wish I had my Daggerheart book. Oh, actually, I do have... 1 second. Let me just steal a stat block real quick. You'll do. So all right. Okay. So yeah, so you go in and immediately draw your staff in a way that you are about to attack, and you can either do an unarmed strike, which I don't think you should do, or you can. What am I looking at here? Where's your just standard attack? Am I going crazy? Because you should be able to just do a standard attack, right? Am I blind? Alright, here's a bodyguard, which means the main guy can't fight. We go for the brute first. Equip our weapons. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was very confused by that. Is there anything else I can equip? Equip the health potion. Oh my god, I was very confused about that. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that changes things, right? Yeah, okay. So you have your staff, and let's say you can fire out any kind of magical effect, which will be 1d6 plus 3. Or you can Rain of Blades it if you wanted to. You can also... Why is there so much stuff down here? At the beginning of a session, place a number of tokens equal to your spellcast trait on this. So you got the 2 tokens here. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range and spend any number of tokens to channel raw energy from within yourself to unleash against them on a success roll. So you can unleash chaos, you can Rain of Blades, or you can just attack. You can sense the presence of magical people and objects within close range. So one thing I will say, you can use your arcane sense, and you sense something very powerful in the right side pocket of the tiefling. The man that walks in is an orc and a much bigger guy. But as you think to yourself, I want to kill you guys. I do want to kill you guys. Yeah. When you think to yourself, this guy's got a bodyguard who's bigger than him, so this guy must be physically weak. I'm going to spend a fear to say that the tiefling stands up, takes off his jacket with the objects in the pocket, and he's wearing a wife-beater vest, and his muscles are massive. He's absolutely ripped. He looks like he can beat the crap out of you. But he also, your arcane sense also kicks in here. He does seem to have some magic inside him as well. Okay, so let's say you start with Rain of Blades, which I think is what you guys kind of want to do. Spend a hope to make a spellcast roll. So I'll -1 hope for you guys. So far, you've only failed with fear on the 2 rolls you've done. So spend a hope to make a spellcast roll and conjure throwing blades that strike out at all targets within very close range. So we'll say that you move in with a very close range of both of them. Targets you succeed against take d8 plus 2 magic damage using your proficiency, which is you only have the 1 proficiency. If a target you hit is vulnerable, they take an extra 1d8. They're not. So why do I have all this stuff? So +2 spellcast roll to see if you hit. Sorry, I'm learning this at the same time as I'm going. I mean, this is a critical success. So, congratulations. I was very scared for a second that you just got another 10 with fear. But very nicely done. Hold on, we need some, like, battle music for this. All show no gains. He is the BBEG. Okay, so on a crit... yeah, you guys just get 10s, but this is a critical success, meaning that you get to roll. Hold on, you clear a stress, you gain a hope, you clear a stress. You don't have any stress, and then you do the max damage possible with the dice, and then roll again. So let's roll for both attacking these guys, which is going to be 5 damage on both of them, plus 8, which is 13. Wait. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 13. 13 damage on both of them is freaking very, very good. Let me just double check my stat block for a second to see what thresholds they're at. Oh! Okay, you mess up these guys. They are both still standing. But they do not look good. You guys get to go again, because it is severe damage, yes. Yes. They're so taken off guard, and you push them back with these rain of blades, these spectral swords that fly out of your hands into both of them. What do you now follow this up with? You want a Vein of Blades again? Yeah, I mean, it worked the first time. All right. You Rain of Blades again. I'm going to minus that hope. Yeah, you can just do as many times as you want. This was the biggest thing when my players are playing compared to D&D. They're always like, I can just keep doing this. Like, if I have hope, I can just keep doing this. Like, is it like once a day or whatever? I was like, nope, you can just keep doing it. And it feels overpowered for the player. Like, they're like, really? But no, it's within reason. All right. I want to go, though, at least. I want to go. No! Okay. 15 with hope hits. 4 damage. You Rain of Blades it again. You get a hope, so I'm going to add that hope there. These spectral swords fly back out your hand again. Just half a second after the first barrage, you finish them off. One guy just gets fully decapitated. It's gross. It's disgusting. And they fall to the ground. I don't have any more fear, because I wanted to make the receptionist walk back in the room, but I can't without fear. So you guys are left there with the 2 corpses and the coat with something in its pocket. As you approach the coat and you reach into the pocket and you pull out this yellow glowing orb. This is the orb that you've been asked to acquire by the strange man in the bar. Don't ask too many questions. For only 1 handful of gold. But you're looking at this, and this looks like it is worth a lot more than 1 handful of gold. Carefully reach for the orb. As you hold it in your hands, you have a moment where you feel like there is pure, raw, magical energy running through this. Almost like you can absorb this energy yourself. If you choose to absorb this energy, you will level up. But you know for a fact that if you choose to absorb this energy, the people who sent you after this orb will be set out to kill you. And the people who are aligned with the tiefling and the orc that you just killed will also be out to get you. Because you would have this power running through you. You would be the new orb. Do you want to level up? Or do you want to take the orb back to the people who could now be your allies and give you more jobs? They won't know it was us. Well, this is where I wouldn't spend a fear. This is where I would spend a fear, but I can't. But I would say this is a golden opportunity, which means that I can just do this. As you think they won't know it's us, the receptionist walks back into the room, sees you, sees the corpses, screams, and runs out the back door. You have a witness. Alright, that's where we will stop this experiment. But that's fun. Take it. This is the smallest one-shot ever. If Phil kills us, we will still... This is a very short one-shot. But no, I can't keep going. I can't keep going, because I can see myself getting very into this. And I need to save myself for tonight. But that's interesting to know. I think there's something there. I think I can come up with a fun way of playing the game with chat. I just wish there was more. I wish you guys could kind of trigger roles yourself, and I wish you had more access to like the character sheet and resources and stuff. What do you think? Do you think if I set up a whole stream like that, a whole session, would you play it? I can always send you this link to the character sheet. Yeah, but it would have to be available to anyone who can come in the stream, and I know there will be occasionally trolls that would come in and just mess up the character sheet. Like if you have the ability to change things and stuff like that. But luckily, it is nice how few things people can do at level 1, so that you guys knew that you only had those options. We'll see. We will see how it plays out. All right. Let me just do one last sweep. One final sweep. Could you do a poll based on chat suggestions? I think so. I think that's a good route to go in. My only fear is that we end up spending like a lot of time on each individual nuanced decision. I guess the idea is that I kind of do have to railroad you, you know? I kind of really do have to put you on the railroad. Otherwise, I don't think we'd get anywhere. There's too much freedom for like 10 different people to kind of choose what's happening. Oh, I actually have a lot more work tonight than I thought I would do. Because I have a new player joining. So I need to go and make sure that I print out everything that's needed for them. And like new character sheets and stuff as well. Do first to chat, then bigger decisions. I poll. Yeah, I think anything that is like a big role is good for that. Also, you guys wrecked that encounter, by the way. Getting that early crit, they only had 4 HP each. And you had an ability that attacks multiple people. And you just like... Visually is why I love this game so much, because I can just see that happening, right? You just come in the room and just like, Rain of Blades, boom, boom. Grab the orb out, have that moment, and then the receptionist walks in and screams, right? It's just so... perfect almost. Love this game. Love it, love it, love it. Were they Jagged Knife Bandits? No, they weren't. They were taken from... I have like... Here, I'll show you. This is what's on my Patreon at the moment. I'm making a new book called The Core Realms and Beyond. And this kind of playtest for it. And each chapter of this book is going to be a different location based on community. So this is the Lawborn version. So the first page is kind of like the Lawborn location. It's like a city called Fairlow. And it talks about like who's in charge. It talks about how there's like a magic university here and there's a grand library and it has adventure queues here of stuff you can do. And then, so I should have just really used all this rather than just trying to like wing it completely. So I was using these Arcanist. I was using Arcanist Adept stuff and Yeah, just kind of threw it on a piece of paper, and I was just winging most of it. So they were both magical, the guys you were fighting, but they didn't get a chance to do anything to you. But yeah, this is cool. So the intention here is like it's got these Arcanist adepts, like magic spellcasters, and it's got some mercenary guards and captains and other stuff that you might find in this Lawborn city of Furlough. And then tier 2, which is point what I'm going to run tonight, there's like a Ajax the Ripper, which is like Jack the Ripper, for like a serial killer type thing. And then there's university mage students and teachers and the headmaster and university animated armor, just in case you want to do anything in the university. Oh. Alright, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Come on, there it is. And then there's environments for each tier as well. So in environment 1, there's like an alchemist laboratory where there's like explosive barrels around if the players fight there, but also there's like random potions that they don't know what they'll do here. So like you roll to see what kind of potion you get, and if you roll well, you clear 1 HP and clear 1 stress. If you get a critical success, you clear all HP and clear all stress. But then success with fear, clear 1 HP, mark 1 stress. Failure with hope, mark 1 HP, clear 1 stress. And failure with fear, mark 1 HP and mark 1 stress. And these are just unknown potion bottles that you can give to your players, and whenever they want to take it, they roll to see what happens, which I think is fun. There's like a tavern and inn situation, there's a library environment, there's a murder crime scene environment, and a serial killer on the loose environment, which I'm probably going to use tonight, where the players need to hunt down like a serial killer. And then there's like Mage University stuff. There's like a Quidditch style game in here called FSG, which just stands for Flying Staff Game. I'm probably going to change the name of that at some point. There's stuff for secret passages and moving staircases and gambling against wizards fighting and talking portraits. It's very Harry Potter, very Hogwarts. So I just kind of pulled that out, kind of thing. But yeah, my intention is to make this kind of thing for, come on, where's the, this is so annoying. There it is. I want to make this exact kind of thing for like tier 3 and 4 as well. So just build out, if you're ever in like a Lawborn community, aka like a town or a city that's full of mages and magic is like everything, you can use the Fairlow or Lawborn community stats and adventure hooks and stuff. Then I want to make a Wildborn one next, and then an Orderborn one, then a Wanderborn one, and just go through each one and just like fill out that world that way, because it really works in my mind. It's like, where are the players going next? What kind of community is that? Okay, here's the kind of stuff they could find. And then I also want to do a couple more chapters. I want to do a chapter for the Hallows Above, where I make like angelic creatures and things that might find up there. The Circles Below, which are like hell creatures, and the Realms Beyond, which are like otherworldly creatures. So that's kind of what I'm working on now. How long did it take me to make this? I mean, it's so hard to tell because I just nip into it and work on it when I can. But this is 9 pages long. I would say couple of days. I think will you be looking like a week or two to do the whole chapter if I did tiers 3 and 4 as well? Like a week or two. And then I want to do 12 chapters. So once I'm done, it'll take a while, but I think it's going to be a really freaking good resource just for me to use. This links to my published stuff. Yeah, so all this, every time I make a chapter or half a chapter of this, it goes up on my Patreon for people to use, like for paid members to access. And they can give feedback on it as well. So like, because I want to make something that other people want as well. I'm making this as a thing that I want, but I want to know what you guys want as well. Also, you just might find mistakes and stuff, so, you know, it's always useful. And then, once I've fully made the whole thing, people who have been Patreons for a long time will have access to the whole thing anyway. But once I've made the whole thing, I want to maybe get some like actual art for it, because the art I'm using is just very basic stuff. You know, just black and yellow silhouettes of things that I threw together using stock images, and these are supposed to be moving stairs, but I don't know if they look like that. I would love to get like an actual good artist involved in this, but I need more Patreons for that, of course. And then once it's finished, I can sell it on DriveThruRPG. Hopefully, we'll see. But it's fun. It's a fun thing to make, and the fact that I can actually use it in my home games while I make it and spread it and have it as an incentive to join my Patreon, I think it's I don't know, I like it. Do my players watch my videos? My wife sometimes does, but she knows when I start talking about this stuff to zone out. I trust my players. They won't they don't want to be ruined or spoiled or anything, so it's all good. But good stuff, guys. Alright, guys, yeah, I am gonna bail. I've got to tidy the place. I gotta print some stuff out. I gotta actually prep this session, which today I was gonna prep on stream. I was going to show you how I'm kind of doing it, but the reality is I'm just going to take a couple of environments and a couple of adversaries and slot them together in a way that's like a 5-act structure, and then just wing it from there. But we'll see. Don't kill the new player on their first session. Thanks for stream. No worries, Trender. Have a good one. Yeah, guys, have a good one. Have a good weekend, even. Hopefully, I'll be on next week. But yeah, have a good one, guys. Bye.